As we embark on Black History Month, we thought we would bring back an old friend and frequent guest here on Urban Update. He's Kevin C. Peterson, founder of the New Democracy Coalition, also founder of the Boston Mountaintop Project, which has been hosting several important public events around the life and times of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Kevin is also an outspoken activist who uses his multimedia platforms to write about and opine on a variety of race-related issues in the city. Welcome back to Urban Update. Kevin, always great to have you here.
Good to be here.
Happy New Year and everything else.
Thank you. You too.
First off, tell me about your recent Boston Mountaintop Project event. I understand that you had a great turnout in it.
We had a wonderful turnout. Hundreds of people came to the Omni Parker House, where there is the King Room. The King Room is dedicated to Dr. King. King was a friend of the Dunphy family who used to own the Omni Parker House. So there was a room dedicated in 1979 to King. We decided to return to that room and have a pre-MLK birthday party celebration. We invited the city in, and they came in droves.
Wow. Now, is this something you want to try to carry out every year?
It's an annual event. We want to institutionalize a people's party in some ways. We have the very wonderful formal breakfast on MLK breakfast on the Monday morning, the holiday itself. We thought about having a people's party where it's a free event, and we invite people to a place where King enjoyed. Coretta Scott King stayed at the Omni Parker House for over the decades, and so that room was dedicated to their family by the Dunphys, the owners of the Parker House.
Fascinating. Sounds like a great event. Now we're kicking off Black History Month, February. What do you think are the major issues that you want to focus on this year that deserve priority across the nation?
I think one is just to continue to reflect on heroes and sheroes of Black history. You have Harriet Tubman, that movie that came out recently. It's a wonderful movie. Brian Stevenson's Just Mercy, that talks about the black male incarceration and how the nation needs to deal with that. Those are things that we can use to reflect on what's going on in Boston. We have numbers of issues that reflect inequality along the lines of race and income in the city. So if we can reflect on some of the cultural gems that are being produced. White Fragility is a book by Robin DiAngelo that talks about how whites can get over their prejudice. Ben Crump's Open Season is a wonderful book around black inequality in the United States. Those are objects around people in the city of Boston throughout Black History Month and throughout the year can reflect on and engage positively in terms of the inclusion and the diversity that's reflected of the city.
Yeah, I did see Harriet, and it's a very good. And I learned some things about Harriet Tubman that I did not know, so it's a very good. Yes. And again, and in Boston, the things you're focusing on the issues that you think are most important here in Boston.
We continue to focus on changing the name of Faneuil Hall as a way to reflect, or to get the city to reflect on reconciliation, repair, and reparation. The name of the hall should be changed because it was named after a slave owner. It's a public building. We should not celebrate a slave owner on a public building. There are other options such as Crispus Attucks Hall. There's Elizabeth Freeman Hall. Elizabeth Freeman sued the Commonwealth, ended slavery in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. There are other idols and icons we can look at. So we're going to continue to push the dialogue around changing the name of Faneuil Hall in order to get to repair in the city.
What are some of the things that you think we can celebrate this month in terms of what you see as areas that maybe we've made some progress?
Well, I think embracing the name, just to go back to King, he was an integral part of this city. And for decades after his death, Boston had not recognized how integral he was. I'm glad what the Boston Foundation is doing in terms of the monument in the Boston Common. There's a economic development center being set up in Roxbury that's around jobs and economic repair. Wonderful things to reflect around in Boston, particularly around King. The New Democracy Coalition will be installing a mural of King in this coming spring. I also want to celebrate the 55th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act. There were two martyrs who came out of the New England area, James Reeb in Dorchester and Mr. Chambliss in New Hampshire. They went down to Selma in '65 and were murdered.
James Reeb, he's the white minister.
James Reeb, yes. They both went to Selma in '65. Both were assassinated. That's New England's, Boston's contribution to the Voting Rights Act. We should be embracing their names and reflecting on how we can engage in civic engagement more substantively.
You know, anyone who's read a little bit about Boston knows about James Reed,
Yes.
knows about Martin Luther King, going to Boston University,
Yes.
and the community. But you're making the point that this should be celebrated more and be a stronger part of the fabric
Yes.
of the community.
Yes, absolutely. We can use their efforts and their sacrifice, really, their blood, really, to build in Boston deeper roots and deeper concern and deeper reaction around social justice in the area.
Okay, we'll leave it right there. Thanks for enlightening us as we begin
Always
Black
glad to
History
be
Month.
here, yeah.
Kevin C. Peterson, New Democracy Coalition, and a great friend of Urban Update of this show. Thanks for coming in.
Thank
All
you.
right? Okay, take care. Best of luck to you in this year. When we come back, 2 authors and 2 previews of 2 books that could provide you with some great inspiration. All the details right here on Urban Update. We'll be right back.